Hi, I'm Dr. Gary Sachs, and I'm here with Theresa Schmidt. We're both from Sachs Wellness Center. And today we're going to talk a few minutes about what to eat, what we should do. And I thought maybe we'd just start with some of the basics, of, what do you tell patients?
Yeah, and so many times they want to know what shouldn't they eat.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fairly extensive list, unfortunately.
If you get detailed about this,
yeah. So really, sometimes it's easier just to say what should we eat. And I do like to kind of think about how is the body built. What do we do with food, things like that. So we know a couple things. We know we're built to tear meat, so our teeth.
Yeah, the way our teeth are set up.
Tear meat and crush vegetables. So we know we're supposed to eat meat and vegetables. Mm-hmm. We obviously need water ourselves. There's more water in our body than anything else by far. So we do know that we make 18 times exponentially more energy from a good fat than we do a carbohydrate. And what we give off when we metabolize a good fat, we give off phytic acid. When we metabolize a carbohydrate, we give off lactic acid. And that's a huge difference because there's two organs in the body that can't get rid of lactic acid, the heart muscle and the liver. So when we eat too many carbohydrates, we build up lactic acid in the heart and we can have a heart attack from that. That's the main cause of heart attacks.
Yeah. And it's so interesting to just bring up a positive thing about eating fat because we automatically think fat bad,
Yeah, and our cells actually make 18 times exponentially more energy out of that good fat than it does a carbohydrate. So carbohydrate, I always tell people, carbohydrate's like putting pine in your fire. You got to do it all day long. If you put oak in your fire, that's like putting fat in your body. You do it a couple times a day, and you're good to go.
Yeah, you can relate to that this time of year.
Yep, yeah, exactly. So that brings up, we want to eat meat, and some people don't want to do that. They need to get protein. And best, if you're not eating meat, not to focus so much on the carby things as to the protein things. So we do need protein. I feel like we need meat. And then I really feel like vegetables. Vegetables are the two big things we should eat. Can you eat fruit? Yes, I like to clarify this because yes, you can eat fruit. Yes, I am saying that. You can eat fruit, but it's the problem is we eat too much fruit.
Yeah.
It's not that fruit isn't good for us. It is, but it's also sugar and it's got forms of sugar in it. So we can eat fruit, we can eat an apple, we can eat some berries, things like that. We can have that, preferably not first thing in the day. It should be your second meal, but we can have that. We just have to limit that.
Yeah.
So
way more vegetables than we do fruits.
Yeah. Can we have legumes? Most people can probably have some legumes. People worry about the inflammatory lectins in legumes, but I don't think most people trouble with that, and it's hard enough to get good things in people, so I don't like to limit those. Some people are anti-dairy. I think if dairy's clean, if it's organic, there's no hormones put in it, there's no antibiotics put in it, I think we do okay with that. Not a ton of it, but
if you're not lactose intolerant, if you don't happen to have a condition.
Yes. So I mean, for the most part, I'd like to see people eating meat and vegetables and good fats.
Yeah.
So I think probably clarification of what's a good fat is probably a good idea.
Yeah.
I have some things hanging in my rooms, my treatment rooms, that I have people take a picture of. There's a list of good fats and bad fats. And I'd like to have that on people's phones so when they're grocery shopping and they're looking at that box of crackers, look at the fat in that thing. Or even more prevalent is the supplement, vitamin D, that's at the grocery store. Chances are very good it's got canola oil in it, olive oil in it, or I'm sorry, not olive oil, canola, corn, or soy. in the vitamin D.
And what
it's
for?
crazy.
You know,
Yeah, it's just
we don't.
It's very inflammatory. We don't need that kind of stuff. But it's nice to have that list on your phone to look at the grocery store if you need to. Yeah. So that's what I tell people about what to eat.
I was thinking too of for some people, saying eating vegetables is a kind of a new thing. You know, like that isn't what they normally do, and yet there are so many nutrients, whether it's minerals or phytonutrients, that are in vegetables that are literally in no other food. They are not available anywhere else to get that we need.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have got to eat the chlorophyll. The chlorophyll in anything green at all is what we need to clean our liver, particularly the second kind of heavy duty pathway of the liver. We need chlorophyll to do that. Yeah. So it's so important to get those vegetables in.
Yeah, get those in there. Yeah. So these are some of the things to do that we're eating, and maybe we could talk a little bit about how to. And I was thinking of intermittent fasting as a topic that could be really helpful for people.
Yeah. So mostly, or at least partly, what that's about is that the more times in a day you eat, the more times in the day you will probably produce insulin. And so the more we produce insulin, the more we make ourselves produce insulin, the better chance we have of being diabetic. So we want to avoid that. Insulin is one of the main things that determines how long we're going to live. So the more insulin you make yourself produce, the shorter you're going to live. So we want to spread that out a little bit. And so intermittent fasting, one of the things it does help us with is not produce insulin so often in a day. So it really is a really good thing for diabetic people to do.
Yeah.
If they can.
Yeah.
They can.
They get tremendous benefit.
Yeah,
from
they
doing
really
it.
do.
Yeah.
They really do. Fasting is one of the best ways to not be diabetic. But the other thing is when you intermittent fast, you try to keep all your food within an 8-hour period. Some people even go to 6.
Yeah.
Other people go to 10. It's whatever you can do. But that means with the 8-hour intermittent fasting, you eat all your food within that 8-hour period, and then you fast for 16 hours. And pretty much 8 of that you're going to be sleeping anyway. So that first 8 helps you digest, and the second 8 actually is when we're truly fasting, and the mitochondria in the cells actually downshift and become more efficient and more effective.
Yeah.
So it's really good.
So many things get a rest. So much of the healing process takes place. And it's actually pretty easy to do, you know, for
those of us that do it quite often.
Yeah. But, you know, if you think about it, this is contrary to the, message that you might hear that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, at least the way that I do the intermittent fasting. So if I have my first meal at 12 or 1 o'clock, I have a pretty normal dinner time, and that's intermittent fasting. You know, that's
and it's not that hard, especially if you're busy in the morning.
Yeah,
you can, your stomach might growl a little bit once in a while, but your body gets used to that program.
Sure. And
you really don't get hungry. You don't start thinking about food until, maybe half an hour before you're getting ready to eat.
Yeah.
So it's really not a difficult thing to do.
We encourage it a lot, and we do it a lot. So.
Yeah. And I even encourage every couple weeks to do a 24-hour fast. And that isn't that difficult either, because you eat dinner. So on the first day you eat dinner, and then the next day you just don't eat again until dinner. So it's only that there's not a day that you actually don't eat, because that can be intimidating for some people. But you just eat dinner. So that's a 24-hour fast. And if you do that on a Saturday or Sunday and you're busy that day doing things anyway, it's not really a big deal.
Yeah. So, it's pretty easy.
So I do encourage people to do that even every couple weeks.
Yeah.
So.
And then I guess maybe we're coming into the time of year when it's so common and we promote a lot, is detoxing is, kind of giving your body a fresh start, a
Yeah.
clean slate.
Yeah, for sure.
And so a lot of people do this beginning of the year because they're feeling so guilty about what they did over the holidays, right?
Yeah, there is that.
So anyway, I just thought I'd start to put a plug in for that, for people to start thinking about it. You don't have to create all this guilt right now, during December.
It's not necessary.
But detoxifying, and we'll probably do a talk dedicated just to detoxing, I think. So.
But it's a really good idea. I do encourage people to do a good thorough detox at least once a year, and then so that's either a 21 or a 28 day, and then once or twice or 3 times in the rest of the year to do a quick 10-day one, and just to reestablish that. So, but yeah, we'll do a talk about cleanses.
It's a little bit longer topic. So we hope this information's helpful for you, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. You can call us at 989-732-7000, or you can connect on our website, www.sacswellnesscenter.com.